Ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for joining me for another edition of Behind the Business. My name is Robere Kazadi. Today, my guest is a very interesting guy, and I'm excited for this conversation. His name is Olgierd Minkiewicz from Compass Real Estate. So, Olgierd, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you giving us a bit of your time, and it's a pleasure to be with you.
It's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to ask you a few questions about your background, then we're going to dive into a little bit of AI talk, and then we're going to talk about your vision, your idea of where the industry is going in the future with all the new technology that's hitting us. So, Algert, you grew up in Poland. You spent time in the theater. And then you ended up as one of the top real estate brokers in New York City. Now, most people would not see that coming. How did that happen? How did you get here?
Shakespeare once wrote, "All the world's a stage." And this is the same idea. This is the stage. I want to be an honest and authentic actor, but I think I've been doing well in real estate over the past years. But growing up in Poland in a small city, in a very odds were against me to be in New York City, to be honest. But I always dreamt of doing that, of being here. So I came to New York 19 years ago, but I lived in London for a couple of years before that happened. And as much as I continue loving the arts and pursuing the arts, real estate became one of my passions. And I feel it's because for me, my business model is very client centric, relationship centric. It's all about people, it's all about connections, it's all about how you listen and how you communicate. So definitely my
Mm,
background and the arts helps me with that.
awesome. So, when you say that you were in theater, what kind of theater did you do?
It's dramatic theater. I loved all the. I was in Chekhov plays. I was in Antigone. I was in The Legend of Beowulf in London, which is this Anglo-Saxon old story. We might see in the movies also. I believe Gerald Butler was in it. A lot of I've done some comedy, but I just always liked the heavy, the dark theater. And then I did some musicals, being in music and also singing. I dabbled with musicals. Just love being on stage, just sharing and living through the experience.
New York City is obviously known for all kinds of theater. Are you involved in any theater in New York right now?
I'm in talks with some production company about putting up a play. It's a big role, it's a lead role, and I'm very fortunate to be in conversation about that. They worked with
Wow.
me before, and now they want to start to put this play out. But I don't want to talk about this until it fully clarifies and calcifies.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I get that. So, for someone who doesn't know Compass, how would you describe what makes them different from your typical real estate brokerage out there?
Compass is started as a tech company, tech real estate company, and it grew into a full-blown brokerage, the biggest company in the nation right now, with locations in every major city, with tens of thousands of agents. But the platform, the Compass platform, the interface, the AI that it uses, all the technology is phenomenal. And it helps us greatly with doing our business, which is lead generation, meeting new clients, helping buyers and sellers sell and buy their homes. So
Hmm.
having that huge support behind me of technology, of support of the teams, it makes my job much easier.
I love it. So, describe for me then, if you will, what does your typical day look like? What are you actually doing for your clients on a day-to-day basis?
So there are some clients or people I've been talking to for many months, sometimes even years. Some of them are not ready, some of them are waiting for the better time, some of them are involved in some complicated processes with their finances and private affairs. So sometimes I am also like some kind of a therapist, I would say, or a psychologist, because I need to talk to them, through, and advise them on how to when's the best time to put your property on the market or to find your dream home. So there are some of the deals that have been happening for weeks now that I'm involved in. So I continue monitoring, negotiating, being involved, being the point of contact between the bank, the attorneys, all the different involved parties. And some of the people that I talk to are like more hands-on. We're going and looking at beautiful condos and co-ops and townhouses here in New York City. So I go sometimes in person with them. We inspect, we walk around, we talk about this. I learn what they like, what they want. The more I know, the better I can assist them. And some of my days look simply I just go to the office, I'm at the headquarters of Compass on Fifth Avenue. I go to the office, I have my great team there. We have a team admin, we joke, we talk business, we talk private things, but we get to work and we talk how we can help more people, reach more people. So sometimes it's the lead generation, sometimes it's a little bit of cold calling. Sometimes it's emails, sometimes it's a lot of documents and preparation. Real estate has been glamorized in TV with all those shows on Netflix and other platforms. And they show you open the door and show the beautiful apartment. That's just a very small part of what we do. There's a lot of that legwork, behind the scenes work. And I do that too. I have great people to help me with that. But sometimes I need to sit down with the documents, with the financial statements, and look at things, how I can best assist my clients. So it's a combination of things. Every day is different, which makes it very exciting.
Exactly. Yeah. And the time flies, doesn't it? Because you've got things to do. And
We're in June. How did that happen?
I know, right? I know. Unbelievable. So, as you mentioned, real estate is a very relationship driven business, yes?
100%.
Like no other. But here we are, and we have AI, which is a technology, and that's not a relationship. So, where has AI actually earned a spot in the work that you do?
It's a great question. It's a question we discuss at length every day. How we can utilize some of the tools that AI provides, but without losing this human touch, which is the most important. People want to deal with a real person who listens and
Absolutely.
adapts and responds. And we can say that AI can do all those things right now, but I still feel that there's nothing like a human being on the other hand, on the other end of the line. Or I sometimes receive those emails from potential clients or potential business partners, and I engage with them in a conversation. And it turns out that these are AI people. They have their full picture on the profile, they have a name, and it seems like a person, and then it turns out it's not. That gets me a little bit off with the continuing this conversation, this relationship. I want to deal with the real person. And perhaps we'll get to this point where AI can be completely autonomous, agentic, fully thinking and fully producing and creative. But I don't see us there yet. And at the same time, do I really want this to happen? Is that the future we want to live in, where machines take over everything and AI takes over everything? And what do we do then with our time?
Right. A lot of people are concerned with exactly what you're talking about, in that what is AI really going to do to change our world? Are we going to make more money because of AI? Are we going to make less money because we lose control? Are we going to lose jobs because AI can do it quicker, faster, cheaper? We talk about this in every podcast, and that's the question that is at the top of people's mind. But let's go to the positive side here for a second. Talk to me about what is something that AI is doing for you right now that you honestly didn't expect it to do so well.
And it certainly does a lot of good things for us and for everybody. I do love the automation of things, but for me on my end, I do not necessarily want AI to do my job for me, because that's what I'm good at and that's what people want, this human touch and the human relationship. But doing this, aggregating the things, showing me who I didn't reach out to in the past month or two, showing me who has birthday coming up. Those things I could certainly write in my calendar with a pen, but having AI, when I type in some things, information that the birthday is on that day, a year later, I will get a notification. It's a very simple way for AI to, of course, operate. There are more advanced things that AI can do, but I find it very helpful because then I can have that human touch and reach out and wish them happy birthday. The more clients, the more people I know, that's harder to keep track of all that. So definitely AI helps me stay on top of this.
All right, so the organization and
Mhm.
just keeping you on task and not letting little stuff fall through the cracks is what you're saying.
That's one of the things. But another one I found very helpful is using all those chat GPT tools now, and specifically in the real estate industry. I learned how important the prompts are, how you phrase the question. And I can mention to this agent that you are the biggest real estate mind in the world, right? And you can mention some names there, or top developer or investor in real estate. Help me find the response to this question that I had. And I can put the email, right? And I can work with ChatGPT on formulating my own personal response, but it gives me a lot of great points. Sometimes things that I couldn't see before. Sometimes I missed, some maybe and that I find very useful. Utilizing all the databases that AI sources from to give me the points to talk about, to refer to. I find it very helpful, especially when I learned how to use the prompts.
Yeah, prompts are very important. It's almost as good as what you want to get out of it is as good as what you need to put into it.
That's right.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, now let's flip the script and say, where has AI let you down? Something that you've tried and it just did not deliver.
So I have maybe better expectations of AI right now. Before I thought that maybe it can craft completely the full response exactly as I would, and then I realized it doesn't have that more my personality. It doesn't know me that yet. And even though I can use some AI that learns me with time, I still don't think it has the creative capacity and this kind of the soul and heart that I put in my work. That it didn't let me down, maybe not now anymore, because as I said, my expectations are very clear with AI. It's a tool, it's not taking over me, it's not replacing me. There are so many situations, even in my line of work, in negotiations, in conversations, that require finesse that the AI does not have. It's like
Right.
this real little things that can make or break deals, and that's why we're needed. Real estate industry has been here for over 100 years, and there was a reason for that. It's a very big, and this is one of the biggest financial decisions of people's lives. So I take it very seriously. I that's why I don't want to give it fully to the AI, and I don't think I ever will. However, I started recently exploring those options of my digital avatar. What company reached out to me and said, we can make you, this will look like you, sound like you, and feel like you. So I'm intrigued. I want to see where that takes us. But I also want, going back to your original question, I do not want to tell people that this is me at the end. When AI lets me down is when I think that I'm talking to a person and I'm not. When I make it very clear with this avatar, if I continue to go this path, I want to make sure that this is my digital representation, an avatar, just to get in touch with you, say hello, can answer some basic questions, but I'm there, available at this number, at this email address, reach out to me and I'll be there for you, 100% person.
Yeah, so the avatar or a clone really is what we're talking about here is a good idea, I suppose. But my question is, you know, is it necessary? In that, could it be misleading? I know you want to have a disclaimer there that says this is an avatar. This isn't really me, but I put this together so that you can see what I look like when I talk. What would be the advantage of having this avatar or clone? What do you see the advantages there?
Just like a business card or an introduction to me, and more of an outreach. It can reach more people. So I have can have that avatar reach out to 10 people in an hour instead of two, right? That can
Right.
increase the pipeline or the people I'm talking to, and that can lead to more business. And also get to those people who really don't want to talk to an agent or don't feel ready yet. That AI can then take notes and perhaps say, that person said, I'm not ready now, but in 3 months, I'd be interested in having a conversation with you. But more of that,
Okay.
yes, that introduction, that look at me, see me, because some people sometimes connect with but the whole stage experience and my background perhaps can help me with the cadence of communication, some different rhythm, and some people can resonate better with that than with somebody who's very maybe stiff and to the point, who may have success somewhere else.
So I guess I see the advantage then in that maybe for some folks who don't like to read emails or they get a million emails, and how does yours stand out? If they clicked on your email and all of a sudden there's a big talking guy that looks exactly like you communicating instead of them having to read, maybe that's an advantage at that point. Would
I,
you agree?
I would agree. I would agree. That's that again. That's that first impression, that little introduction, and if that avatar can answer some basic questions, that also provides service to those people. They may not. Some people are not comfortable speaking on the phone with a stranger. Some people can have just very they're at the beginning of their search and they just need a few talking points, clarifications, but they somehow do not want to talk with a real person. That clone, that avatar
Mm,
could answer some of those questions, and they can then think, oh, when I'm ready, I can talk to that person who put himself out there, created this clone, this well put clone to answer our questions. That's nice of him. I'll remember him.
yeah. Okay. I get that. I get that. Let's say now, let's take out the avatar and let's take out the kind of minutia of the day to day and the documents and all that that the AI can help you with. What's one thing that you wish it could do that it can't do right now? What is one thing you wish AI would just solve for you that you don't know that it's even possible yet?
So some just
I'm putting you on the spot,
this,
just to
and
be clear, right?
I'm very
And for
happy you did.
everybody watching, he did not get a chance to take a look at the questions before. We wanted this to be an honest, just open, casual, fun conversation. So this is as if we're sitting in a coffee shop and I just ask you a question. So
And I really
don't feel
appreciate it.
any pressure, but if you've got something, I'd love to hear it.
I certainly want to think about this for a moment, but I also very much appreciate that I didn't prepare, you didn't prepare me, you didn't give me the questions beforehand. I want it to feel organic, authentic. I want people to who we are, how we talk, you and I. And so it's a great question. What could AI do for me that is not doing now? Solving all my problems. I would love that. Just
Can you
get
be a
this
little more specific?
just get this. I have a deal now on the table that requires communication of a lot of different parties, right? And some of the parties do not like to communicate with each other, and it has to go through me. So I'm the conduit. That's my job. I would the AI to just take over this and make them all agree and kumbaya together. This is a simple thing. You want to sell, you want to buy. Why are we doing all this little by principle the clashes that we don't need to. We need to focus. And again, that's what I need to come in. But sometimes it takes a lot of my time and a lot of my energy to walk everybody through this. And I would say maybe AI, if it was like a very If people knew that they are dealing with AI, maybe they wouldn't take so much of my time. Because some people like to talk and explain and vent their frustrations, which I am prepared and as a professional, I need to weather those storms. But sometimes I would think that if I could have all my expertise, my knowledge, and my real estate acumen here, could just tell them that's what needs to be done and no emotions, right? And they would just need to face it. And you want to do it, they still want to do it, and it will still happen. But taking the time of the therapy session on the phone for 35 minutes, sometimes it's a lot. And I love my clients and we're big friends. Usually most of my clients after the transaction closes, we remain friends and we hang out and I'm being invited to their home housewarming parties. But some of the time that we spend on talking about things that seem to be very obvious, but not to them, AI could perhaps just tell them this is what it is and no emotions, right? And they can take them on a ride for 35 minutes.
Okay, I love it. And so, how about this idea then? Have because you took the word right out of my mouth when you said therapy session. I was thinking exactly the same thing. How about having the avatar? I mean, if you could produce a series of therapy sessions with your AI avatar clone, and I don't know how it would work, but maybe they would, if they have questions, or maybe it's on a daily basis where they need that hand holding and to be reassured that they're doing the right thing, or that this deal is going to come through, or that they're not spending too much, or you're going to be happy with this. I don't know. Maybe AI could take care of that component and it would free you up to do other things that are more important and actually more lucrative. I don't know. That's just what's coming to my head as we talk.
I think there might be a combination down the road. Again, I imagine if we were sitting here now on a business call, you're one of my clients, investors who wants to purchase a couple multifamily properties here in New York City. If I had next to me my AI clone that is just this very clear, business-like, to the point, as I can be as well, then I could perhaps be that human touch, that emotional. And maybe they could just answer a lot of those questions, be like, I could just sit back. And then I can step in when I want to say, like, why this makes sense, why does it will make you feel good, how, and a kind of that teamwork of AI and a human down the road could work. But for now, for now, I'm doing all this work. Sometimes it's a lot. Sometimes it's straight up exhausting. And I have my family to come back to, sometimes finding time to relax, maybe read a book, as I love to read so much. And now I'm so happy that I got back to this. I learned how to really sit with a book again, because there was a time when I couldn't. Does AI help me find that place? Already, yes, because it shows me when I need to reach out, when I don't have to reach out, who has the birthday, so I don't have to scroll through my notes, and I can then read. So if AI can take over some of the mundane tasks in my business, I'm up for it.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. So let's start forward looking at this point. So Compass, as you said, is a tech driven brokerage for sure. They
Yeah.
started as a tech firm. What do you think most agents, what do you think is going to happen to most agents in the industry going forward if they don't embrace the technology that Compass has already embraced?
Compass has purchased or merged with some other big companies already. So Compass is becoming especially in New York City, has over 20% of the market. Some of the agents who do not, it's a very tough business also, I want to say. It's not very difficult to get into the real estate business, but after 1 or 2 years, about 80% of the agents fall out. That's how competitive it is. That's how difficult it is. For me, again, it's all about relationships, fostering relationships and this trust. and loyalty that I can build with my clients. If and some people don't get that. Some people in real estate think they can go, and they think they can make some big money very fast. And sometimes people get lucky, but it really takes a lot of time to build that, to build the relationships and the business. I think that if the people ignore AI, they will fall behind because it will take a lot of our workload. It's already taking a lot of our workload. But I also think that those who will realize, again, back to the humanity, back to the human aspect, those who realize that connections and relationships are the most important will thrive through whatever is going to happen. Whether AI takes over and there will be a company, there have been companies like that already coming up saying, you don't need an agent, you don't need a real person. We can help you buy, sell, invest in real estate or using our platform. Well, not quite. It's already been proven, even people who created some of those platforms, it's a real story, use an agent to buy or sell their properties. Because that's how much it entails. I think I feel secure about my career and business because of the importance I put on people and relationships. And I would recommend to people listening to that or wanting to get into the business or being in the business for some time already to continue fostering those relationships and focusing on people. Because at some point, whether AI takes over the whole world, people will want more of that connection. People will want live performances, live conversations. I think that's where we're heading, actually.
Okay. Okay. So I guess what you're saying then, because my next question was going to be, do you feel like AI is going to help strengthen those relationships with the broker and client, or do you think it will ultimately deteriorate and lessen the importance of the human touch?
I think that's a fantastic question. It's a question I was talking about with one of my friends a couple of days ago. I think first it will deteriorate. It will weaken that connection. Like with everything else, AI will take over and people will feel more disconnected and lonely, as it is already the case, I think. We're presumably more connected than we've ever been, yet there are more people saying they're more lonely and disconnected than ever before. And that same thing will happen in real estate and in any business, I think. People will start feeling oversaturated, the not listened to, not heard, to misled by this AI, and then they will search. So ultimately, it will strengthen because people will then get through this rubble of all those connections, AI prompts, and then posts and stories and all the things, and want that real human touch. I feel that's where we're getting. So I feel hopeful about this whole revolution. I feel this people will, maybe that's my romantic view of humanity and the world. Like I look for good things in the world and I want to focus on the positive without ignoring, of course, the difficult things that are happening all over the world. But I think this will at first make us feel a little bit more disconnected, lonely, as it's been happening in the past years with social media. And then people will start, I want that. I want to meet with this person. I want to sit down and have a conversation over dinner. I want to have a coffee with you and sit on the bench in the park. That's
Okay, I like that. I agree with that actually. Olgierd, I've got two more questions for
okay.
you. We're almost there. So the first question is, so 10 years from now, what is the top real estate agent in New York City going to look like?
It's going to be somebody who is aware of all the technologies, all the tools that are available, but still remembers that it's all about people and relationships, that can show up himself or herself and be there for that person, provide the hands-on approach and understand the human nature. That's why I think actors who go into some businesses are fantastic people because they know how to listen, the real actors, the true actors. Then you listen, you adapt. And I think that agent in 10 years from now will be somebody who has built enough trust, who has been showing up, consistently to those appointments, to those events, networking, reaching out, and people know him as this specialist in this field that knows the city very well. In New York City, you got to be in New York City to do business in New York City. It's a lot going on, and that person will need to be here, present, focused. That's going to be the top agent in 10 years from now.
Awesome. Remind us one more time, how long have you been with Compass?
With Compass, about 6 years now. In real estate business, close to 11.
Okay, awesome. Okay, here's the last question. Is there anything that you would like to say that I have not asked you already?
Maybe saying back that I feel very hopeful about this whole change in the world with AI. At first, when you reached out to me and asked to speak at this podcast, I felt, what if I'm going to be this person who's bringing us back to those values and the classical, timeless human conversations and touch and literature? That I felt like a little bit too romantic for this new technology. And then I am here. I'm aware of what's going on. I use a lot of those tools myself, and yet I find more soul and heart in it than I did before. I think because my life is, I'm very grateful for my relationship with my wife. That definitely fulfills me daily, and I come home and I have those very meaningful conversations. When Before I got married, before I met her, I was by myself. I felt much more lonely. And I think that maybe fueled some frustration with this whole AI, social media, technology, because I didn't feel connected. I didn't have that relationship that I wanted. And now I do, and I think that allows me to look differently at this whole. It's again my personal. I know that some people may listen to it who are in happy relationships, some people may not. And both of you are exactly where you're supposed to be. I've been there too. I can sympathize with all of you. But I feel definitely hopeful, and I see that we're going to be fine as the human race. Just we need to just continue to stay aware, continue to be engaged in the conversation, and talk about those difficult, uncomfortable things sometimes too.
Listen, thank you for being honest and being vulnerable and telling us about your personal life. At the end of the day, this may resonate with some and not with others. And that's okay because we are just two guys talking about business, talking about technology, and sharing some personal aspects of our life. And I appreciate that. And I commend you for your honesty, honestly. Anything else?
No, I've been very, thank you for having me. It's been such a pleasure to talk with you. You have a big, great smile, and it's just a pleasure to interact with you.
Likewise. Olgierd, thank you again. Thanks everybody for watching, and we will see you on the next one. Bye now.